Hey guys, I'm cmasupra and welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 multiplayer video. In this video, I am playing as the Russians, my opponent is playing as the Germans, and we are playing on Kolodny Firma Summer Battlefield. Now, to change it up for myself as the Russians, rather than doing my normal conscript spam where I build a bunch of conscripts in the beginning of the game, I decided to go and completely change it up for the beginning of the game for myself and go completely conscriptless. Not one single conscript squad was built in this entire game, and so it's quite a change for me. Now, if you're not going to build conscripts as the Russians, you have two options. You can build either Tier 1, which gives you the penal battalion squads, the snipers, and the scout cars, or you can build Tier 2, which gives you the machine gun, the heavy machine gun that is, the Maxim machine gun, a mortar squad, and a Zis AT gun. In this particular game, I am building Tier 1, as you saw. In fact, I've almost completely finished my first squad, which is the Penal Battalion squad, and I had one single engineer squad build it, and they're already going in capping points. I did not build a second engineer squad, just because I don't think it's really worth doing if you're doing this start, because I think it's important to have good anti-infantry firepower if you're not going to build conscripts, especially early on as the Russians as opposed to the Germans, because one of the Russian advantages is early capping power, and I'd like to take advantage of that by having the ability to fight off my opponent with all my infantry and then be able to cap points and win the game, hopefully, pretty quickly. At least that's the goal. I built a second Penal Battalion squad now as well. So what I'm doing this game, basically, in the beginning of the game, is instead of conscript spam, I'm going with Penal Battalion spam. There we go. I don't know why that's hard to say. But I'm not... Penal Battalion spam, not scam. It's not a scam. Penal Battalion spam is not quite the same as conscript spam because penal battalions cost a little bit more. They cost 30 manpower extra per squad, and they don't have any anti-tank capabilities. They are entirely anti-infantry. You also have the ability to upgrade them with flamethrowers for 60 munitions per squad, so that's something you can do that you cannot do on conscripts, which is quite nice. Penal battalions are also much better with their regular guns than conscripts are, so they're really better against infantry, but they are far worse against vehicles because they have no anti-vehicle capabilities as a squad. So even though if in the early game you're going to do penal battalion spam, you still have to find some way to counter vehicles later on in the game, which I do end up doing in this game. So here we have our first engagement. It's penal battalions in a house versus grenadiers that are in green cover. I don't really know who's going to win that fight, because it is at medium range. Penal battalions, I believe, are better at close range, just like conscripts are. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that they're better at close range, and that's how I used them in every game that I played today when I didn't use conscript spam. So, I'm pretty sure that's how it is. However, as you can see in the beginning here, my opponent has 3 grenadier squads shooting at my penal battalion squad that's in the house, so I bring in 2 of my other penal battalion squads to come help, because they are on the field. They should be here to help out. Retreat that one that was in the house and deal with the other grenadier squads that were shooting at it, and it looks like my 2-man squad got away just fine. Excellent. It would have been bad if I lost them this early. You'll also notice that I am placing down mines in various places, mostly in the south, next to my opponent's very, very southern exit point from his base. It's just because I don't feel like I'm going to be able to cover that area very effectively, so I figured mines would be a good option there. So I also got out a scout car at the beginning of the game here. It's not pure penal battalion spam, so yay, something different. The goal with the scout car, though, was to put the penal battalions in it, or one penal battalion squad, rather, in it with a flamethrower, and then go and just own all of my opponent's infantry, because I have lost quite a few times as the Germans when somebody does that, as the Russians, just because they'll like come in really quickly, flamethrower you, get a flame critical on you, and then run away before you can Panzerfaust them. It's really annoying, I must say. So that was my goal with this scout car. It didn't quite go that way in this game, as you will see, because my opponent kept his infantry together very well, and he used MG42s, or at least one MG42 pretty well this game. Now I have gone ahead and picked my doctrine. I was really deciding between 2 doctrines. One gives me not scout, shock troops, and the other one gives me a mortar and guards rifles in the early game for 2 CPs. I decided to go with the guards rifles and mortars because my opponent knows that I'm going with penal battalions, and he probably knows that they don't have any form of anti-tank, and so he's probably going to bring out a light vehicle with the fuel point that he has up in the northern part of the map. And so I figured light vehicles are coming soon. I need some form of AT. Guards rifles are a good way to get some AT in the early game. Oh, don't get Panzerfausted. This would be bad. Yeah, there we go. Scout cars are so weak now. Can I get... Yeah, there we go. I can get in range when I can shoot him, but he can't shoot me. That is perfect. Yes. Now, my opponent is capturing my cutoff point in the south. I'm no longer connected to any points in the southern part of the map, and that's really what I focused on, was the southern part of the map. So this is kind of bad for me here, but at least I am capturing points in the northern part of the map away from my opponent. So at least, if nothing else, I am preventing him from getting resources just like he's preventing me from getting resources. Although he is actually doing something about my penal battalion squad up there, as you can see. Now I do have a sniper on the field as well. It's a 2-man sniper team, because it's the Soviets. And I figured it'd be a good idea to get these just to drain my opponent's manpower, and because I had a ton of manpower just sitting in the bank, so I figured I should do something with it. My second idea with the scout car as well, since the penal battalion squad sitting in the scout car and me just running around didn't really work out, is put the sniper in the scout car and have that to be a very mobile sniper that can just own everything as it kites them. That would have been awesome. Here you can see an MG42 running away, and as well a Pioneer squad ran over one of my mines, so that was great. I know my opponent has a Pioneer squad over there. It's down to 2 men. I should probably go do something about it and hopefully kill it. Now I should mention that snipers are not something I build very often as the Russians. In fact, none of the units in Tier 1 are things I build very often as the Russians, because I never build Tier 1 as the Russians, at least not in the early game. Towards the later game, I will sometimes build a sniper, but it's not very often I do it as the Russians. Can I kill off this entire Grenadier squad? I might be able to. Don't think it's gonna happen, it has too much health. Throw a satchel. The penal battalion squads don't get grenades, but they do get satchel charges, and they are very deadly. That creates a huge explosion, as you can see. It would have been nice if my opponent didn't retreat from there, but he did. Now, something I wanted to mention as it happened, but I was busy talking about other things, is one of my anti-tank mines that I laid in the southern exit of my opponent's base was blown up by a scout car. So my opponent definitely has light vehicles, just as I expected, and I am so glad that mine took care of the first one, because I don't actually have any guards rifle squads out in the field yet. I regretted buying the mortar that I bought, the 120mm mortar, initially when I bought it. I was just like, oh shoot, I really should have bought a guards rifle squad, but I bought a mortar instead. This could be really bad for my snipers. Oh no, I just lost my sniper squad. They killed, what, like 4 guys maybe? Oh, that sucked. Well, now my opponent has a scout car in my base, and I can't really do anything about it. Luckily, scout cars are actually pretty fragile, and they can die to small arms fire, so my opponent loses his scout car. That's his second scout car he's lost. Wasn't very well done by my opponent, I will say. He could have done better right there. But he figured, I don't have any form of anti-tank or anti-vehicle, surely I can just charge into my opponent's base and wreck face, right? The real answer is no. Okay. Well, at least that worked out well for me. I was really more scared of a half-track, because half-tracks don't die to small arms fire, and if he gets flamethrowers on a half-track, I am just doomed. That's really what I wanted the guards rifles for, but I guess if my opponent's going to bring out a scout car, I don't really need the guards rifles, do I? Oh well. Oh, hey, look at this, another scout car, and I have all 3 penal battalion squads here. I wanted them to capture points, but I can have them attack a scout car instead. That works. He's probably luring me into an MG42 if I had to guess. Yep, there it is. Yeah. There's no way he would have just sat there if he wasn't luring me in. Is he gonna get really close and lose the scout car? I sure hope he does. As you can see, I'm flanking from the north on this MG42. I spy that my opponent has something built on the point there, fuel or munitions cache, one of the two. I'm having the flamethrower attack the MG42. Come on, flamethrower, kill the darn thing. The MG42 backs up. It's not gonna happen. It sets up. I need to just retreat before I take unnecessary losses. There's a reason they're called unnecessary, and they are bad for you. Do not take them. Kind of like medicines. Medicines are bad for you. Do not take them, unless of course you need them. Then take them. They're still bad for you, even if you're like sick. But at that point, you might as well take them. Anyways, this video is not about moralities of taking medicine. Oh no, grenade! Hit retreat. That's kind of how I dealt with grenades this game. Is I just hit T because I never could see where exactly the grenade was going. So I don't know. My grenade spotting skills were just not up to par this game. Is my opponent going to retreat this Grenadier squad? He's going to Panzerfaust me, and then he's going to die. Excellent. He just lost, what is that, 240 manpower? I actually can't remember how much Grenadiers cost. My mind just went blank. Oh well, he lost an entire squad. That is excellent. My mortar's going to get grenaded here. Or maybe not, because he's going really close. At least I have two Penal Battalion squads. They will just absolutely own the Grenadier squads, especially with the flamethrower. Oh, can they kill off the one-man squad? Come on, Penal Battalions. I don't think they're gonna do it. So I think I saw a tank by my opponent, or maybe it was just another scout car. Why did I send my scout car all the way to the southern part of the map? I think I saw a scout car that was going to kill it. So I sent it to the bottom of the map because I didn't want to risk it getting killed by the scout car or by anything else that might have been chasing it. I don't know. I figured my opponent would not look in the bottom part of the map. That's something I never do when I'm playing, so it makes sense. Can I win against this scout car if I'm sitting in a building? I very well might be able to. I do have two guards rifle squads on the field now, in fact. This could be great, a great way to kill the scout cars with guards rifles, because scout cars are weak even to small arms fire. Once you get some PTRS rifles shooting at them, they'll take a lot of damage very quickly. Grenade! It doesn't do much of anything to units and buildings, at least not buildings that big. In case you guys don't know, if you shoot a grenade or throw a grenade into a large building, the likelihood of it actually doing very much is pretty low because all the men inside the building are pretty spread out. It's actually modeled in the game. Like, if you zoom in on the house, you will see that the men are spread out, and if the grenade lands in a spot where there aren't any men, it won't do any damage. Just FYI. This was the case in Company of Heroes 1 as well. So far, this looks like it's going well for me. I actually have most of the map. My opponent still has a fuel point connected to his base, which is not good for me, as well as some sort of cache sitting on this point. I still don't know what kind of cache it is. I think I probably knew when I was in game, and I do not know what it is right now. I think it's a munitions cache, if I remember correctly, but I'm not going to say it really is, because I don't know. But I am definitely winning the infantry battle right now, and I'm winning the map control battle, and I'm even capturing the munitions point in the top of the map right now with some squad, probably my Pioneer squad, although I think they're sitting in the scout car right now. I don't know. Capturing it with something. Yeah, something. I don't know. Some Penal Battalion squad is capturing that point. But at least I'm capturing it, and that is good. I'm also going to go capture the fuel point in the top of the map as well. So far what we've seen in terms of vehicles from my opponent is a bunch of scout cars. That is it. No half-tracks, no tier 3 vehicles like a Panzer IV or Stug, and no tier 4 vehicles because it's way too early in the game for those, but nothing like a Panther or Broombar. Those are all not in the game yet. In this particular match is what I mean, not like in Company of Heroes 2 at all. But yes, that's all we've seen from my opponent. Bunch of scout cars. So, hopefully he spent enough fuel on those scout cars to where he's not going to be getting any vehicles anytime soon. That's really what I'm hoping for here. As you can see, I have 7 CPs, and I'm really just trying to wait until 9 CPs when I can get the T-34-85s with this doctrine. That would be really nice, so I don't have to build tier 3 and get some T-34s. I would not like to do those if possible. You might have noticed that I'm also laying down more mines in the southern exit for my opponent's base. I figured if he sent a scout car there earlier, he probably thinks it's safe now. He's probably going to send whatever vehicle comes out next down there as well, so it's a good place to put mines. Even if they don't kill a vehicle, maybe they'll kill some infantry that comes down there to try and capture the points, who knows. Soviet anti-tank mines are awesome. So my opponent does now have a Panzer Grenadier squad, and I was forced to retreat because of it a little bit earlier. But hopefully I can deal with it here. I do have 2 Guards Rifles and a Penal Battalion squad over there. Here we have Penal Battalions versus Grenadiers. Go Penal Battalions! Yeah, use the flamethrower. Oh yeah, 1 man left, come on. Oh, my opponent spent a whole bunch of munitions to save his squad right there. Whether that was worth it or not, that's up to you guys. I say it was not, but maybe he has a ton of munitions, I don't really know. In fact, he probably does. I suppose if you have a ton of munitions, that is worth doing, because that is a Vet 2 squad, and manpower is the rarest resource. You're supposed to spend munitions and fuel in order to save your manpower, because manpower is what wins games. That's the way the resources work in this game. So maybe it was worth doing, I don't know. He thought it was worth doing, his choice. Oh no, here is the first tank we've seen from my opponent. It's a Stug. Run away! Oh darn. Hit retreat. Hopefully they don't die on retreat. I really hope they don't die on retreat. I built another engineer squad thinking my first one was going to be busy doing things. I wanted this one to build tier 3, because I figured my opponent's probably going to get vehicles sometime soon. I thought I was going to get to 9 CPs faster than I actually did. So I'm building tier 2 actually for the SAT gun for anti-tank capabilities. But yes, I thought my opponent was going to get vehicles sooner than I ended up getting 9 CPs, so I figured it'd be a good idea to build tier 2 and get a ZIS AT gun. I do have 9 CPs now though, and it'd be a really good idea to save up the manpower. I have plenty of fuel, but I don't have the manpower to get the T-34-85s. My 120mm mortar does not seem to be doing very much. It's still at vet 0.
Get inside.
120mm mortars are awesome most of the time. It didn't really do much for me this game, at least not yet. Now that my opponent has an MG sitting in a building, maybe it will do something for me. Oh, it's shooting at a Penal Battalion squad. Just move behind the house, guys. Then the MG42 squad will wonder, where did they go? I don't know where they went. I can't see them, so I don't know where they are. Okay, Stug versus Guards Rifles. Hopefully the Guards Rifles can take care of the Stug. It actually got the Stug down to less than half health between the 2 Guards Rifle squads. One's in a building, one was out in some cover. So I actually did pretty well with the 2 Guards Rifle squads against the Stug. That was actually a very good thing for me to know this game, because I did not know that Guards Rifles did so much damage to Stugs with their PTRS rifles. There we go, the mortar actually did something for me. You saw the house has a ton of holes in it, and there was no more MG42 in it. I think my opponent retreated his MG42. I doubt that I killed it, unless my opponent was just oblivious. Hey, another scout car! Oh please run over the other mine that I have right in front of that point. Yeah, oh! You are so lucky, Mr. Scout Car. You are so lucky. That was the luckiest scout car I've ever seen. It's at 5% health, runs over a mine, still at 5% health. It just doesn't have a main gun anymore. I was so mad at the time, but it really didn't matter much because I now have T-34-85s out on the field. My opponent, from what I've seen, doesn't really have anything to counter them. We have seen a Stug out of tier 3, but that's the only tank we've seen so far from my opponent, and these T-34 should be able to own a single Stug, especially because the Stug lacks a turret. That was a big explosion, whatever the heck it was. I think it was a satchel, but didn't do very much if it was. Maybe it was just the tanks, that's probably what it was. Alright, T-34-85s versus a Stug. Let's see how I can do here. I am charging forward. I find my opponent has a pack, so I go behind the house and I flank around the northern part of the pack. I think I ran over a mine there and got a disabled engine on my northern T-34, while the southern one got panzerfausted. Stug is dead, but there's still a Pack AT gun on the left side of the house. One T-34-85 goes down, and that is not good for me. I just lost a T-34-85 to kill a Stug. Can I kill this half-track before the Pack faces me? No, I cannot. I back up. Oh, it was too late. But it looks like I got the half-track at least, and hopefully now I can avenge my T-34-85 by killing off this Pack. This Pack killed both of my T-34-85s, so it would be really nice to kill it off. Wow. I just went into shoutcaster mode there. Can I kill off this entire Pioneer squad? There we go. That's what I like to see with flamethrowers. When I have the flamethrower, not when my opponent has one. Yeah, so there goes a Pioneer squad, and I believe I decrewed the Pack, if I'm not mistaken. So excellent. I did lose both my T-34-85s, though, to kill a Stug and a half-track. It was not a good experience overall for myself, I suppose. I did not get the advantage there, except for maybe in manpower, because I killed off the Pack crew as well. I don't really know. Maybe I might have won in manpower, but I do not think I won in terms of fuel. Could be wrong.
We have been promoted.
Who is going to win this fight in the middle?
Capture orders acknowledged.
I think it's time for me to retreat here. Come on, Supra, retreat. You're not going to win this fight. Oh, I was grenading. That's why I didn't retreat. Grenade do something? Oh, yeah. Brought the guy down to one man. Hello there, MG42. Oh. Well, let's see if I can kill off the Grenadier squad before the MG42 opens fire on me. Hopefully I can. I'm actually flanking the MG42 as well. Oh yeah, here we go. Flanking with a flamethrower. This MG42 does not have much of a chance at all. I think my mortar just killed some of my guys in that squad. Oh well. At least I made the MG42 retreat. That was the goal, and I succeeded. I am capturing the northern field point on the map, so my opponent will not have a field point anymore. Let's take out this cache. It's a munitions cache. Okay, that's what it was. Finally clicked on it in game so I could actually see what it was. Hey, the Pack is actually helping me. Yay! Go, Pack! Friendly fire Pack. Alright, well at least the cache is gone. No more huge amounts of munitions from my opponent. I'm planting mines in the northern part here, right in front of the fuel point. 2 mines. 2 mines should do it. That should kill anything that tries to go and capture the fuel point. The longer I can deny fuel to my enemy, the better, because I do not want to see vehicles from him, at least until I have my T-34-85s back. This is a Vet 3 Penal Battalion squad. My oh my. Mortar, do your job. You kinda did your job there. I just had to do it on my own and say barrage in that area. There's a whole bunch of infantry there. An inaccurate barrage should be good enough. Hello, MG42. You're gonna back up right into my mortar barrage area. Yes, good. Force a Grenadier squad to retreat, I think because of the mortar. I might have killed 2 guys with it, not sure. I didn't see any XP, but it was only 1 man, and my opponent was sending it up to the field in the middle. I don't know. I decided to send this Penal Battalion squad up north to protect the field point. My mortar is opening fire on the MG42. Excellent. I do have a Guards Rifle squad in the house as well, shooting at the MG42. I don't really know who will win that fight, an MG42 in the open versus a Guards Rifle in a house. The MG42 might win, but I don't really know. My mortar should be barraging the MG42 though. I have all 3 victory points. I have cut off my opponent completely from any map control except for this 1 point in front of this house. That is all he has in terms of map control. I have bought T-34-85s once again in case my opponent gets any vehicles, although I really don't expect him to get very many. Maybe 1 at the most, because I did take his field points, or his field point, as well as all the strategic points on the top. I fully expect my opponent to grenade me here. Is he going to do it, though? That is the question. So far, so good. It looks good. T-34-85s are here to save the day. I got an achievement stealing the spotlight. Not really sure what that means, but I guess my T-34-85s did kind of steal the spotlight because they're the ones who actually did the damage to those grenadiers and panzer grenadiers. Alright. Accurate mortar barrage time. This is the first time I've ever used the ability on this 120mm mortar, so I didn't quite know what it was going to do. It costs some munitions. I'm not sure how many, 40, 45, maybe something like that. But it makes a really accurate barrage. I was amazed at how small the circle was. Yeah, right behind the shield of that AT gun. That's what I want to see. Hey, that shell didn't land in the middle of my circles. What was that about? I don't know. But it disappointed me. Guards Rifle Squad is now Vet 3, second Vet 3 squad this game. Stug is shooting at the Guards Rifle Squad, but it's not really doing anything, because it's a Stug G, which is not the anti-infantry version. But my squad is at low health, it's Vet 3, I do not want to lose it at all. My T-34-85s are still sitting behind that house waiting for the Stug to come around. My mortar is shelling the squads, repairing the Stug. That was awesome. Oh no, here come Panther Shreks. Panther Shreks must die. Focus fire on the Panther Shreks, people. Throw a grenade, mortar round, very nice. Grenade incoming, he retreats before the grenade lands, but how about the Grenadier Squad? Grenadier Squad doesn't really get much damage at all from that. Pack AT gun is over here. Oh no, get behind it. Come on. Come on, T-34s. Oh, one didn't make it. Hopefully the other one will kill the pack and avenge his fallen comrade. This guy seems oblivious to the fact that I have a T-34-85 there. Pack is completely dead. Stug is still alive though, but luckily I still have two Guards Rifle squads. Although they're both at base right now because I just retreated one and the other one is still at base reinforcing. At least I still have them. I do have my opponent base pinned at this point. This is really a victory at this point. Nothing, not much of a chance that my opponent's going to come back from this. I have all but 2 points on the map, and only one of those 2 points that I don't have is connected to my opponent's base. So he has very little income right now. A little bit of income, but it's very little. I have a ton of infantry, 2 Vet 3 squads, 1, 2, 3, 4 Vet 2 squads, one of which is even a mortar, so that mortar's going to be very accurate. Excellent. Game's not over yet, though. More Vet 3 squads to come, I believe, if I remember correctly. Am I still planting mines in the southern part? I think I was still planting mines in the southern part of the map. Alright, mortar, do your job. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Stug is firing at my squad here, Penal Battalion squad. It has become Vet 3. That is my third Vet 3 squad this game. I've retreated it very late. It was so close to dying. Having my mortar barrage somewhere and then decided not to do it. I somehow hit the rear armor of that Stug, despite the fact that the rear armor was facing away from me. I don't understand how that happened, but okay, I will take it. Extra damage to the Stug. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I am still planting mines in the southern part. Excellent. Already killed one scout car and severely crippled another scout car back there, or down there. So I guess it's a good spot where my opponent likes to go quite a bit. I do now have 4 Vet 3 squads in total, as well as 2 Vet 2 squads and a T-34-85. I have the entire map almost. This is looking pretty good for me. I think at this point I've won. There's really not much chance of my opponent coming back. So I'm going to call the video here, call the game here. You guys don't really need to see much else because I have my opponent base pinned and it's just a matter of time before he quits. In fact, there he goes. He has quit. So this was a game on Conscript-less Russians and Tier 1. Penal Battalions are actually pretty good. This is not the only game I played with the Penal Battalions, using Tier 1 as the start for my Russians. I found that it does actually work pretty well. Penal Battalions are a good replacement for Conscripts. The only downside to this strategy is that you don't have any form of AT with your Penal Battalions, so you do have to find other forms of AT, such as Guards Rifles or Zis AT guns, if you can build Tier 2 as well, or mines, like I used this game. Mines were very effective this game, as you saw, things like that. So, in the future, probably as my next video, I am planning to do another Conscript-less Russians video, but maybe I'll do it in Tier 2. I did play a few games today, and using both Tier 1 and Tier 2 as my starting building. This game was Tier 1, obviously, because I built Tier 1 before I built Tier 2, and I think next video with Company of Heroes 2 will be Conscript-less Russians with Tier 2, and I'll make it a more interesting game. This was just a good game to show off Tier 1 as the Russians if you decide to go with Conscript-less Russians, because it's actually pretty good. You just have to find your own form of AT, because penal battalions do not have it. Anyways, guys, hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.